Hi, my name is Kishore and this is Moving Images. K. Balachander was called Iyakunar Sigaram and he more than lived up to the title in his 50-plus year career. KB brought an array of impressive and complex characters to life in his many films. While he had a well-known penchant for his strong female protagonists, his sensitive male leads, and the obsessive antagonists, KB was never afraid to push the envelope further when it came to his characters and themes. By the time the 80s rolled in, KB broke away from the middle-class household problems within four walls and took the issues to the streets. His films started dealing with problems with society such as unemployment, poverty, scarcity, and corruption. But the bigger issues and larger scale wasn't where KB was actually experimenting. It was again his characters that KB started introducing subtle changes to. To see how KB's characters evolved through the 80s, let's do an experiment. Let's actually try to write the characters like KB would. We need a scenario first. How about an unfaithful lover? KB loved his convoluted relationships. We have three main characters now, the couple and the other woman. Now let's set the story against a music background, another thing KB loved. And we get, oh, classic, but no. No, not that either. Okay, interesting. But let's take an actual KB film which had these elements. Sindhu Bhairavi. I feel KB experimented the most with his characters in this film, and you'll see the reason why shortly. To begin with, the male lead with his lust for the other woman in KB's world would be an obsessive antagonist. JKB, however, is the protagonist here. So how does KB make him someone we want to root for? Simple. By turning his obsession not towards another woman, but with himself. JKB is obsessed with his craft and his image as a successful musician. He is gifted yet flawed. With this one simple trick, KB has laid out the arc for JKB. His obsession leading to his downfall and his eventual rise forms the rest of the plot. This serves to prove that when a character with defined characteristics and motives is placed in a scenario, the rest of the story writes itself by just having the character react to the scenario. JKB is one such character, with the first 20 minutes of the film spent on setting him up. Everything he does and says here comes back in one form or the other to haunt him.
வித்வான் சொல்லிக்கிறதுக்கே அவமானமா இருக்கு. இன்னைக்கு கொஞ்சம் சுத்த குறைச்சலா சபைக்கு வந்திருக்காரு. புரியலையா? குடிச்சிட்டு வந்திருக்காரு. அப்படி பார்க்காதடா குரு. அன்னைக்கு நீ செஞ்ச தப்பதான் இப்ப நான் செஞ்சிட்டு வந்திருக்கேன்.
Now that the main lead has been written, KB adopts a different strategy to write the supporting roles. He takes various facets of JKB and builds each supporting cast as the opposite of him. Let me explain. JKB's obsession with himself and his art makes him lust not for women, but rather an intellectual equal. Someone who would understand his greatness and his music. That's where Sindhu comes in.
சங்கீத ஞானம் உள்ளவங்க, சங்கீதத்தை பத்தி பேசுறவங்க, இவங்கெல்லாம் கிடைக்க மாட்டாங்களான்னு நான் ரொம்ப ஏங்குறேன்.
ஆமா, நாம பாடுறது ஒரு இன்பம், நாம ரசிக்கிறது ஒரு இன்பம். அத பத்தியே பேசிட்டு இருக்கிறது இன்னொரு மாதிரி இன்பம்.
Correct.
Taking JKB and Sindhu side by side, it is easy to see how they are opposites of each other. JKB is older, obsessed with his art and his public image, and orthodox.
கச்சேரி இல்லாத நேரத்தை உங்கள மாதிரி உபயோகமா செலவழிக்கலாம் இல்லையா? நீங்க விளையாடுங்க. சீட்டு ரொம்ப முக்கியம். நான் வரேன்.
Sindhu, on the other hand, is young, does what makes her happy rather than being worried about her image, and is a non-conformist, seen from how she suggests JKB break away from his traditional singing.
எந்த கலை வடிவமும் மக்களுக்கு போய் சேரணுங்கிறது ரொம்ப முக்கியம். அப்படி போய் சேரணும்னா அது புரியுற மொழியில இருக்கணுங்கிறது அவசியம் இல்லையா?
She is the other woman, the one that breaks a marriage.
பைரவிகா, உங்களை பார்த்தா எனக்கு ரொம்ப பொறாமையா இருக்கு. ஒரு பெரிய மியூசிக் ஜீனியஸ் உங்களுக்கு புருஷனா இருக்காரேன்னு உங்ககிட்ட இருந்து அவர் அபேஸ் பண்ணிட்டு போயிடலாமான்னு தோணுது.
Sindhu isn't the strong female lead here, but rather a gender-swapped version of the sensitive male. The character we want our protagonist to end up with, but that almost never happens in KB's films. By taking JKB and making Sindhu everything he isn't, KB sets her up as the perfect foil and the opposite that attracts JKB.
I still love him. அதுக்காக பெரிய இசைமேத அவர் 1000 பேர் காதலிப்பாங்க. JKB சார் எல்லாரையும் கல்யாணம் பண்ணிக்க முடியுமா? என்ன பேசுறீங்க நீங்க?
Finally, Bhairavi. In any other KB film, Bhairavi would be the main lead. The story would be from her perspective. However, this is where KB deviates by making her a supporting character. And with JKB and Sindhu being the two leads, Bhairavi could have easily been the antagonist too, the one that makes JKB's life miserable and drives him towards Sindhu. But KB surprises us once again here by building her as the opposite of another facet of JKB. To see how, let's compare them side by side again. JKB is talented, proud to the point of seeing his fellow musicians as below him.
என்னையா பாடுற நீ? ஜலதோஷம் பிடிச்ச மாதிரி ஜீவனே இல்லாம என்ன பாட்டுது?
And his obsession makes him think only about himself. Bhairavi is not talented in music, which serves as a major point of contention for JKB and drives him towards Sindhu.
மண்ணாங் கட்டி நீயும் பருப்பு பொடியும் லதா மங்கேஷ்கரோட மீரா பஜன் கேட்டுட்டு இருக்கேன். ஹிந்துஸ்தானி அமீர் கல்யாணிக்கும் நம்ம கல்யாணி ராகத்துக்குள்ள ஒத்துமை ரசிக்க தெரிய வேண்டாம், அந்த பாவத்தை ரசிக்க தெரிய வேண்டாம். அதுவா வந்து உன் காதல் விழுகுதே, அந்த பாட்டோட இனிமை ரசிக்கிறது கூட உனக்கு ஞானம் இல்லை.
She is humble and she is self-sacrificing, and she is ready to sacrifice her marriage to JKB so that he could marry Sindhu. In many ways, Bhairavi is the strong female lead here, more so than Sindhu. She faces every hardship JKB and the society throws at her and still endures it all, but does so in her own passive and silent way. With Sindhu Bhairavi, KB managed to break down and rebuild his three main characters. This also showed how the author kept reinventing himself and his craft. The video was by no means the definitive way KB worked, but rather a way for me to reverse engineer his process. The techniques discussed here are certainly a masterclass for me in writing characters and are quite relevant even today. I see a glimpse of KB and his characters in every film I see. Until next time, this is Kishore signing off saying,
ஒரு illegitimate affair, ஒரு legitimate fatherக்கும் ஒரு illegitimate wifeக்கும் பிறந்த illegitimately legitimate child. அதே illegally legitimate child is better than illegitimately born legal child அப்படின்னு ப்ரூவ் பண்ணேன்.